left Everton Football Club. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easier to find all the latest scores, stats and news, like who will be Everton's next assistant manager. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. Luis Boa Morte, who, funny enough, we've had a few run-ins with him in the past, which will be interesting if he got the job. But I think, you know, we said, didn't we, Portuguese would be the first thing, because you want someone, you know, the manager wants to convert. He want to converse in his own language. You want to get points across in his own language. We've seen him talking in press conferences and stuff, and listen, he speaks English fluently, but that doesn't always mean that you can get over succinctly what you want to say. I mean, sometimes I struggle getting over what I want to say in English, but, you know, in your own native tongue, you can have those conversations. It also helps to keep things private from other people as well, if you're speaking if people don't understand. But I think that number one is I'm not saying that's the number one thing, but that's a box ticking thing that he would want. And number two, listen, Boa Morte seems to have been quietly going about doing his coaching, getting his coaching experience, getting his badges. I think he worked with him at one of the
Sporting Lisbon. He was the under-19 coach while Silva was the manager, so he's been doing, got to know him there.
He's been doing under-19s, he's been doing under-23s, things like that.
He coached Sirenties, I think they were called, and he's now the assistant manager at Maccabi Haifa as well. So he's got experience, and particularly doing the assistant manager job, so he ticks those boxes. He's 41 as well, I think, so he's a good age, same age as the manager. And Boa Morte is a player. He had an edge to him.
Wasn't very nice.
Well, he had an edge to him, and he wanted to win. And they're qualities that I think you need. And I think, I look at him, he's a fiery character. I know he had a run in with Duncan, and so that'd be interesting. But listen, the 6, 7, 8 years past that, and they're both coaching, so it is what it is. It's a chance for him, if he comes in, and it looks likely that he will, that he'll get to know Duncan personally, rather than crossing paths on a football pitch. So I want someone who demands the players to have a bit more fight about them. Our players showed that when the crowd were with them the last 10 weeks. They were brilliant, albeit with the exception of Fulham and possibly Newcastle for the last half an hour. In general, if you've got someone who's testing them as well, you've got the manager putting his instructions, and you've got someone who's challenging them, I think it can be a good partnership.
I know we mentioned there having a more senior man sometimes, but do you think having someone who's around the same ages as the manager, their energy levels will match, so that, you know, if Marco Silva's working all the hours and he wants the assistant manager to do that as well, you can do that. And you have the same, and also you're coming from around the same, obviously the same generation of football philosophy as well. So because obviously he's going to have to look at Boa Morte and he's going to go, well, what style do you want? What style are you used to playing? What are you used to getting out of your players? What do you coach? You know, if they're the same philosophies as what the manager wants, then obviously those things have got to fit into place.
It wouldn't be so far down the line as what it is if they weren't, would it? He's not going to go to... Boa Morte plays direct football, knocking it into the channels. He's not going to go after him, is he? He's going to go for someone who does the same thing. The thing as well with Luis Boa Morte is that the what goes on in football now, he's not out of touch with. He's a few years out the game, but he's working and coaching every day. So it's not like bringing in Joe Royle, say for argument's sake, who's a fantastic Everton man and a fantastic knowledge of football. Yeah. But what was going on when he was a manager isn't necessarily going on now, or it's very different. So having someone who's the same age as the manager, I think you've just made a great point. The energy levels as well, it's intense, the Premier League. You're seeing some managers this year look like they've been dragged through the mill. Yeah. You know what I mean? Pochettino, when they won the semi-final, looked like he was about to have a nervous breakdown. You know, and he just, because that's how much and emotion it, the other soft shades across the park, looks like his head's about to explode half the time, because it's that demanding. So you need people with that energy and that enabled to take on those demands as well. And, you know, where Everton are trying to improve, this manager knows it's a big season this season, because our owner has put money in, he'll put money in again. And he expects results. And you need someone who's going to come in and drive those players to results as well. We won't know whether it'll work until they've worked together, but if the manager's identified him and he's got all of those attributes as well going on, then you can only think that it'd be a good fit.
Yeah, and it is. Although it's only been a year, it's something fresh. Didn't one of the things obviously under Howard Kendall was Howard Kendall brought in Colin Harvey, wasn't it? But he wasn't his original number 2, was he?
No, he promoted Colin, didn't he? Because he just had McGibbon was there, and he was in and around, and Colin came up from he promoted him from the reserve team and youth reserve team and put him in, and then the club went to the next. I mean, Derek Manfield, who's been in, friend of the show, he's been in quite a few times, says it was from when Colin was promoted. Peter Deed told us, Andy Gray, the same thing. When Colin was promoted, everything went up another level. Wasn't that Howard wasn't a fantastic manager, but your assistant manager put things across and was the buffer again and different things. And sometimes it's that energy. And don't forget, these players now, Boa Morte will be meeting all these players for the first time and having a look at them in training. What can he do? What can he do? There might be someone who Marco goes, he might look at him and go, yeah, but has he got that desire, or vice versa? Silva might be looking past someone and go, nah, I'm not really sure about Kieran Dowell, for argument's sake, and Boa Morte might be like, well, what about, have you thought of doing this? Or you don't know, because you don't know what them workings are like, but all you can trust in is that we continue the work we've done. It's obviously a blow losing someone who's in the club and the players are used to now. But in some respects, you have to look at it the other side and go, well, all right, well, it means that the players will have to impress this new fella as well. As, you know, the likes of Sigurdsson again, who's had a great season, or a very good season, got to impress Boa Morte again, you know. But the advantage there is Richarlison speaks Portuguese, and Bernard and Gomez, hopefully, and so Boa Morte can talk to that. So there's all the little key elements as well that go in with it, but you know, ultimately the proof will be in the pudding, won't it? But if the manager has identified him, Marcel Brands will have to, you know, will be like, well, if you're happy with him and he meets this and he meets that, you know, we'll meet him and have a chat with him. And if their philosophy's all going the right direction, then I expect Boa Morte will probably become the number 2. And it's a great opportunity for him to get back into the Premier League, isn't it? With you know, his first job in coaching side at a Premier League club, and hopefully the transition will be smooth. And you know, the manager's still the number 1 person there.
It, isn't it? It's only one. It's
just a part, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an appointment within the coaching staff. So, as you just mentioned, as long as it's a smooth transition, you know, one comes in, one goes out, and everything else stays the same.
Who's to say Boa Morte doesn't come in and is got the same work ethic as the manager? You know, I'm not saying Joao Pedro, because quite clearly he did, because he's gone to be a manager. So who's to say Boa Morte isn't the one driving Silva on now and going, well, we want to do, you know, get a bit more out of it. We just don't know, do we? But we'll only know as the season goes on. But you know, hopefully they'll make the right decision. They've tended to do things correctly since they come in, and like I say, the appointment won't be made if Marcel Brands doesn't give it the back.
It's just hard to know, isn't it? It's hard to know with these things. We don't know with the manager only being here for a year, and these people just seem to be faces in the background at the time rather than being big personalities, which is what a lot of these people seem to be now in the background. You don't really seem to get, you know, we grew up in an era of, you know, knowing, you know, the Brian Cloughs and the Peter Taylors and people fitting together and doing different jobs now with a lot of things going on off the field now in terms of directors of football. They are all left to just get on with. So maybe the assistant manager's role is almost, I don't know, maybe it's taken a lot of those duties, because you know Ferguson used to just be upstairs half the time and let the coach, and that's why he used to go and get a boss number 2. You know, that's why he used to change them all the time. Number 2 used to do all the training, and he'd delegate and make sure he had his finger in all the pies at the club. Well, that doesn't have to happen anymore, because certainly for us, Marcel Brands is taking care of a lot of the transfer stuff. The manager's taking care of the team, and obviously his assistants and his coaches are taking care of preparing the football team. So from that point of view, you just hope that they make the right decision and bring the right man in.
That's all
and
you
we'll
can
wait
do.
and see. We'll wait and see what happens.
The thing with Boa Morte is very experienced in the Premier League as well. Arsenal, obviously Fulham. So
he ticks all the boxes. You know, young up and coming coach. He's got experience. Speaks Portuguese. Well, is Portuguese. Speaks obviously fluent English as well. Been around the Premier League.
Coached in Europe.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see what happens. Obviously, it's happening at the right time as well.
Yeah.
You know, so he can get all his preparation for the pre-season and all that with that. So shouldn't be hopefully too much of an issue bringing him in and that's,
they'll all be in. They're back in 4 weeks, aren't they? So we'll be in place and ready for Kenya and other pre-season games, which will be announced very soon.
Very, very soon. Give this video a like if you like it. If you like it, give it a like.
Well, even if you just think it's all right, give it a like. Why not?
It does help. It really does help. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon. You will not